Welcome back to Cousins Paul and Snooker Bar in Canterbury. I hope you're excited because I am. We are at the Vanguard Invitational and it is the final. Today we will see Maximum Impact face off against the Wet Bandits. Today I am joined with Simran.
Hello, and yes, I am very excited as well.
Yeah, you sound it. So welcome back to our tournament sponsored by Rubbish Snooker. We are here finally at the final. After a long grudging tournament, teams fighting for their place in the knockout stages and also to the final too, and we have finally come out with the two best teams to face off in the final. So Maximum
Yeah,
Impact versus the Wet Bandits. Very, very excited. These teams have fought long and hard. Bit of history between the two. In the group stages, we saw Wet Bandits beat Maximum Impact 3 points to one right at the end, the final game of the group stage. So now it is all to play for. Do Wet Bandits have an edge over Maximum Impact? Simran, your thoughts?
well, there is a difference here. Obviously, they have the wild card on their team, Maximum Impact. They have Chris Hope. Let's see what if they can bring things to the team that will help them beat Wet Bandits. I'm sure that they are coming in with an air of vengeance. Wet Bandits being the only team to be able to um, make Maximum Impact drop some points and win the game.
Yeah, Chris's first game for Maximum Impact wasn't the strongest. We always recall that his first shot potted the ball straight into the pocket. So maybe, hopefully this game, Chris will have a stronger game, especially when his team needs it. You know, Chris is very
Mm.
experienced in the 10-point game. Of course, the final now up in the stakes from 5 points to win to 10 points to win. So we should see a lot of time for teams to warm into the game and get underway and maybe show their best line ball ability. So the ball being rolled, black ball into the middle of the scoring zone, leaning to the right hand side. Maximum Impact to break, I think. Oh no, sorry, it is the Wet Bandits to break.
But yeah, let's see if Chris can bring in some experience from the 10-point game, a bit more endurance required for that kind of game. So maybe that will be the winning edge Maximum Impact need. Or maybe three as a crowd and it will be too much and Wet Bandits will take it, as they did last time from Maximum Impact.
Yeah, I really felt in the group stages when Maximum Impact faced off against the Wet Bandits, their group stage was kind of already over. They were already topped the group. They were on 12 points at that point. No one could overtake them due to points difference. So maybe it was a bit of a nothing game for them towards the end of the group stage after a long day of the group stages on a hot day too. Maybe just trying to get it
Mm.
over with. So maybe it didn't quite show the reflection of both sides um, properly um, in the group stage. What we've seen so far, though, is Maximum Impact hit two very, very poor shots. Both points, only 1 point in the scoring zone, the other side of the black ball, whereas we've seen the Wet Bandits hit four balls into the scoring zone, being 4-1 up already. Very, very slow start for Maximum Impact. And probably the most important game of their line ball careers.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here, if the pressure's getting to them. The only player able to get a ball into the scoring zone is Max himself. Chris and Sam not really being very helpful in the team right now.
But we did see a very, very useful shot there for Maximum Impact. Quite aggressive to spread out the red balls of the Wet Bandits, placing the yellow ball behind them too. So, it's a nice strong start here. We've just seen a fantastic shot there once again from the Wet Bandits. 5-2 up now with two balls left for them to play. We need to see a very, very aggressive Maximum Impact if they want to take the first point.
Yeah, the Wet Bandits seem really, really on form, really focused today with a clear objective in mind.
We have just seen Maximum Impact give away the first point. Wet Bandits strike first. It is 1-0 in the final. Is this going to be a repeat of the group stage? Is Maximum Impact going to crumble? We shall see. But right now, it is the Wet Bandits 1, Maximum Impact nil. Maximum Impact certainly had to play a very aggressive shot there to try and come back. So they had to play aggressive, and it didn't quite work out for Maximum Impact at all. But now we have just seen two great shots over to the left-hand side, a black ball over to the right near the top of the scoring zone. Both teams playing away from the black on the second round here, second point to play for. Again, we are seeing the Wet Bandits play to the exact same side, playing the exact same shots as they played last time. Maximum Impact playing very close to the left cushion, making it very difficult for any of those balls to be played out of the area.
Maximum Impact's balls in perhaps a more strong position, bit more to the left, a bit less central. A Wet Bandit's ball's a bit more exposed to be taken advantage of.
Yeah, Wet Bandits balls certainly look in a dangerous place and could be taken advantage of. Take that as you will. So the points being 3-3 very early on in the second point of the tournament. Maximum Impact's ball's very sheltered here by the Wet Bandits.
Wet Bandits making a bit of an unfortunate shot there and knocking out one of their own balls.
Yeah, it's very, very close here. Very close game here. So far, 4-4. 5-4 now after the Wet Bandits have just knocked in another ball. Very, very massive cluster on the left-hand side here. Very tightly knitted game here, in which Maximum Impact will take advantage of that. An exposed ball. It is out of play. They are going to ball up. 2 balls left. The pressure now on the Wet Bandits to try and knock a ball out. Otherwise, Maximum Impact will take this point and equalise.
What would you be opting for here? I would say that central yellow ball would be my target.
Very, very difficult shot, especially the side which both teams have opted to play on, making it very, very beneficial for Maximum Impact here. Very difficult because they now had to shoot all the way across the table and try and hit it at an angle where they could try and knock out one of Maximum Impact's balls. Makes it very, very difficult. Very, very difficult for them indeed. Not much room for error here. Mainly
No
hit and
room for
hope,
error.
really. Hit and hope. In which, unfortunately, they have managed only knocked out one of Maximum Impact's balls very, very well without knocking anything in, but they unfortunately have knocked out one of their own. And they have hit that very, very softly. Maximum Impact has thrown away their point, taken it to a tiebreak.
Embarrassing.
It is an embarrassing shot there from Maximum Impact. I don't want to point names at who that might have been,
It
but
was Sam.
it was Sam who missed that shot and has led him into a very, very difficult place now. Those 2 yellow balls in front cannot be knocked in to score points. They can only knock out balls to win the map point now. And now it is a proper cluster in which they have to break into.
Not sure what's going on with Sam in this game. I think at Maximum Impact are lucky that Chris is here to pick up the pieces. Could this be the end of Sam's line ball career? Let's hope he can put it back.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult thing here, and that ball is out. Therefore, giving the point to Maximum Impact.
Hey, I'm Kieran, the creator of Rubbish Snooker, which makes art out of litter on an outdoor pool table. And I'm really proud to sponsor the Vanguard Invitational Line Ball Tournament, and check out rubbishsnooker.com.
They had to knock that ball out because the Wet Bandits line up a yellow ball very nicely to knock out. So Maximum Impact doing very well there to take the point at the end of the mistake they made as a team. Win as a team, fail as a team. So Luckily, that the teammates could pick up their others in order to take the point in the
Yeah,
tiebreak.
a really tight game we're seeing so far.
Yeah. If you want to learn more about the teams, of course, and you've missed the other rounds, please go back onto the Line Ball channel, post every Tuesday and Thursday. Go watch the group stage games, get to know the teams a little bit better, the way they play, even the knockouts, which you'll see Chris Hope join, Maximum Impact, and how well they play too.
As a reminder, the teams today are, of course, playing for pride, but they are also playing for the prize provided by Rubbish Snooker, the sponsor of our tournament.
Yeah. So a fantastic start here for both teams, both balls into the area. Not slightly worse shot there from Maximum Impact, a little bit more exposed than the other two. Both Wet Bandits balls are against the cushion on the left-hand side. The black ball being in the middle of the scoring zone and the depth. It sits in there too, with one of Maximum Impact's balls over to the right-hand side.
Three really gorgeous shots there from Wet Bandits. Maximum Impact's maybe a bit more dispersed, but in a bit more dangerous positions. One very close to a pocket and one very close to that black ball, meaning that players like Max can really take advantage of that cluster there, being able to knock out a red ball like he just did.
Yeah, Maximum Impact there, and Max hit a fantastic shot there to break up the cluster, knocking the red ball out. Unfortunately, not far enough that it takes it out of play, but puts a little bit more pressure on that. Maybe the shot they wanted to hit, with that shot, maybe attacking the yellow one close to the black, they can't do anymore because they had to focus on bringing their balls back into the zone. So the score being 3-3 at the moment. Very, very close game so far. Both teams scoring well. Maximum Impact now just edging the lead with 3 balls left to play for both teams. But the red ball is in a good position to knock in as well. So we should see all the balls hopefully in the scoring zone after this point. Not quite, but Wet Bandits have hit the black ball. It is now 2-1 Maximum Impact. Sloppy mistake there from Hoy, giving away a point to Maximum Impact, and the turnaround is complete. Maximum Impact, maybe back to smooth sailing. Who knows?
An unfortunate turn of events there for Hoyce, a player we don't regularly see making those kind of sloppy mistakes. The tension of the final perhaps getting to him.
Yeah, we are now seeing Maximum Impact start the black ball in the centre of the scoring zone, leaning slightly to the left-hand side. Very exposed ball here from Maximum Impact, quite far away, and they have taken advantage of that, knocking that completely out of play. However, the red ball is over to the far side, to where they're shooting from, so maybe not the easiest shot to get back into the scoring zone, but we will see Max shoot past it into the corner, again making it quite difficult for Wet Bandits to take advantage of that. Again, Hoy showing a bit of nerves here after his mistake in the previous point. Slight mistake, not quite getting the ball into the zone. Maximum Impact taking full advantage of that, knocking both those balls slightly further up the table. Very awkward for them now to try and hit into the scoring zone. But they are not out of play, unlike Maximum Impact's ball here, in which they now have 2 balls completely out of play. Maximum Impact might need to play this a little bit more aggressively.
That was a real shot of vengeance we saw there. A really brilliant shot from the Wet Bandits to knock out one of Maximum Impact's balls, and it's clearly shaken them slightly. As their next ball, they were unable to get into the scoring zone. Both teams have taken quite a few shots now, but only a point each in the actual scoring zone. A really interesting round we're seeing here. Much
Yes.
more, um, um, much more brutal, much more attacking. A much higher caliber of line ball that we're seeing here, I would say, compared to the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, like we're not seeing very defensive line ball in this round so far. Very risky shot there, giving it a tap on the side as it goes past. But we do have the experience, not quite in the scoring zone, the other ball um, there. But again, very exposed ball, which the Wet Bandits could take advantage of if they're feeling brave. The angle might not be in their favour there at all, but they are now 2 balls up on the table. So maybe they should just focus on scoring, and they'll win this point.
Yeah, but what fun is that?
Well, we just seen Hoy there just talk to his team and say, we are a ball up. We don't need to be aggressive here. It's a very risky shot, but that was very sloppy from the Wet Bandits there.
Well, I
So
think he had charged up all of his power to take a solid shot and knock out a yellow ball. And then maybe his teammate turned around and said, maybe we should just get balls in. And he changed the angle, but forgot to change the pressure.
exactly. Again, a very risky shot there from Maximum Impact, and it's a very sloppy point given away.
Hey, my name's Kieran Paul, and I'm the creator of Rubbish Snooker, which is the proud sponsor of the Vanguard Invitational Line Ball Tournament, of which the winners win a piece of Rubbish Snooker art.
Unnecessarily, we knew they had to do something, but that was not the answer to their problems, and now they have given away a point. Twice now we've seen, well, once from both teams, I should say, that we've seen them give away a very, very sloppy point. Simple as.
Yeah, ball boy, Anki Dams, distributing the black ball to the far right. Maximum
Distributing the
impact
ball
selecting.
for the final time.
Maximum impact have chosen the far left, whereas Wet Bandits have gone for a more central position. And it was bait, and Maximum Impact took it.
Yeah, again, it feels like I'm repeating myself over and over. Self-made, self-inflicted mistakes are costing teams in this tournament. We saw it last game with Daddy's Clackers. We're seeing it again now with Maximum Impact. 2 very, very sloppy points to give away. And all of a sudden, from being 2-1 up, it's now 3-2.
Mm. That was fun. Not sure what the point was, but it was fun.
Yeah, it was a very unusual shot there for Maximum Impact. They seem to be capitulating in their corner.
That's a
A
lot of
lot of
work.
pressure here. A lot of pressure here, maybe on Maximum Impact. A lot of people might have see them as the favourites coming into this game, only losing once. But this is the team they lost to. So maybe even though they might not have taken their final group stage game seriously, it might have that psychological edge now that the Wet Bandits did beat them. And maybe even if they tried, maybe they wouldn't have beaten them anyway.
Now, do we think that the Wet Bandits accidentally made a really soft shot there, or do we think that it was intentional to block the yellow balls?
Well, if we know Wet Bandits, that could very much be bait and make it very, very difficult. Maybe trying to tease them and say, you know what, go for it, try and knock it out, and maybe on that angle it could hit the black ball. So, although if the Wet Bandits played as well, they can just keep scoring, protect their balls over to the other side as well. You take it easy, and then it means Maximum Impact have to do something. Otherwise, they will lose this game.
Yeah, Wet Bandits seem to be flying through this round. Um, balls everywhere, dispersed on the right, dispersed on the left, dispersed on the non-scoring area. Whereas Maximum Impact opting for the far left, which might actually be a more difficult place for Wet Bandits to knock some balls out, purely because of their other red ball that's in the way.
Now, the problem we have here now for the Wet Bandits is now they have 2 balls out the scoring zone and they have to do something now. Otherwise, they lose this round. So they have to pop at least one of these red balls as well as one of these balls out of the scoring area. Otherwise, it's a very simple tap in for maximum impact. But we have seen previously that maybe a simple tap in isn't as easy as it seems, because they did miss it last time.
Yeah. Byron showing us that he has the skills to be able to do it, of course. And maximum impact also knocking in 2 balls, bringing us to a tiebreak.
Yeah, the tiebreak here certainly does favour maximum impact. Very, very open balls on the right-hand side, but it could be nice and easy here for Wet Bandits here, just to attack those 4 balls on the left-hand side, hit and hope as well. See what happens. If they knock out 2, then it puts all the pressure on maximum impact. If they pot a ball, well, then the game's tied again. Unfortunately, that did not knock out a ball. Maximum impacts now to attack. They have to be very, very careful here. Those 2 red balls don't bounce off and hit the black ball, like so.
It's happened again. Maximum impact again, losing a point to the black ball. That black ball really being their demise.
Yeah, Wet Bandits here showing very, very well, showcasing their ability here to take games to the back end, take them to the tie break. They can bait the other team into hitting into the black ball, teasing them with a ball in front, making it seem like it's an easy target. And maximum impact have fallen for the bait a couple of times. But not only that, a lot of the mistakes they make are self-inflicted. It's not like some of them, they have a choice of where they can shoot. It's not late on into each point, and they just don't capitalise early on like the Wet Bandits are. We've seen Wet Bandits play aggressive.
Yeah, Wet Bandits really able to capitalise on maximum impact's mistakes, and show a consistent game. Show that they are not being rattled by the game. Making sure that they're playing the correct shots when they need to, making sure they're defending when necessary and attacking when necessary. Maximum impact not really showing that they are able to be as flexible as a team. Perhaps a little team huddle is necessary to rally the troops when we go into the next step of this part, as we go into part 2 of this game.
Yeah, we've really lost the fluidity of maximum impact as Chris has joined. It's not saying Chris is any issue whatsoever. However, it's more so that the players aren't taking as many shots as they were in previous games. As the game goes on, Wet Bandits are certainly more warm because they're taking every other shot, whereas players in maximum impact have to wait an extra turn in order to take a shot. And by that point, the point may be over. So they might only take 1 or 2 shots in a round, and then they lose the point. So, it's very difficult there for impact.
As a reminder, this will be a 10-point game, so perhaps as we go further into it, having 3 players might be more beneficial. Wet Bandits might get more tired in comparison to maximum impact, who will have more spread out shots.
Exactly. So maximum impact really do need to pull themselves together here. Find the form that we've seen and we've been excited to see throughout the tournament. Seen some fantastic shots here, and they've got plenty of time to pull it back. So hopefully that we won't just see a consistent Wet Bandit masterclass. Hopefully we'll see maximum impact demonstrate their ability. So I hope you've enjoyed. Please go like, subscribe, comment who you think might win. This should be a 3-part final, so please enjoy yourselves watching these games. Tell us who you think's playing the best, who's your man of the match in each game. Like and subscribe, of course. Once again, saying thank you to Cousins Paul and Snooker Bar in Canterbury for allowing the whole tournament to host on their tables, and once again to Rubbish Snooker being the prime sponsor of the tournament, providing the prizes to our winners. Timran, any final thoughts?
I'm certainly looking forward to the next 2 rounds. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's see what happens here. Remember, the Lion Ball channel does need subscribers and needs you and your support to keep things going too. So please tune in every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. for the next part of the final. Thank you very much. I've been Matt.
I've been Simran.
See you in part 2. Bye for now.
Hi everybody, my name is Max Barrett and I'm the creator of Lion Ball Pool. I just wanted to hop in at the end of the video to say thank you so much for tuning in to the episodes of the tournament. We really appreciate you watching and supporting, so make sure if you enjoy these episodes, subscribe to the channel. At the moment we are uploading every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. UK time, so your subscription, it goes a long way. And the other thing I'd like to ask you to do is play Lion Ball. Go and play it in your local pool bar, snooker lounge, wherever you have access to, because we've had a lot of the players who are playing in this tournament be approached by other people in the pool bar, asking them what they're playing, having some rounds of Lion Ball, teaching each other the rules and trying out new tactics. So by playing Lion Ball and just going out there and enjoying it, you are helping to spread the brilliant work we're doing here on the channel and introducing a brand new game and bringing people together. So that means everything. And the other thing I'd love to do, and this is a bit of a reach, I would love to play Lion Ball Pool against Keanu Reeves. Now, can we make it happen? He is one of my favourite actors of all time. He is an inspiration, and if I could play against him in a game of Lion Ball, then I've won. So let's see if we can do it. Subscribe, comment, like, let's see. I'll see you in the next video.